As we find ourselves on the brink of an international conflict over Taiwan, one might ask, how did China rise from an obscure communist nation to being the second biggest economy in the world? And what now? Economic reforms. Open door policy, 1978. One of the pivotal moments in China's economic history was the adoption of the open door policy in 1978, initiated under the leadership of Deng Xiaoping. The policy encouraged foreign investments and opened up China to global trade. This was a radical departure from the previous isolationist policies and allowed for the inflow of capital, technology, and expertise. Special economic zones. China established special economic zones, SEZs, such as Shenzhen, to offer tax incentives and relaxed regulatory frameworks for foreign enterprises. These SEZs became hotbeds of innovation and industrial output. Manufacturing hub. Cheap labor. One of China's significant advantages was its vast labor pool, which was relatively cheap compared to developed nations. This attracted manufacturing companies from around the world. Factory of the world. By the 2000s, China became known as the factory of the world, exporting everything from electronics to apparel. This industrial base provided the foundation for its subsequent economic ascent. Everyone has some not-so-fond memory of a cheap, made-in-China product that fell apart soon after being put into use. China not only managed to shake off its reputation of making cheap, low-quality products but actually thrived. Investment in infrastructure and education. Infrastructure. The Chinese government poured enormous resources into building infrastructure, which facilitated economic activity. Education. Human capital development, via investment in education and skills, also played a crucial role in feeding the high-tech sectors and services industry. Geopolitical factors. WTO membership. China's accession to the World Trade Organization, WTO, in 2001 allowed it further access to global markets and made it an integral part of the global supply chain. Technology and innovation. Leapfrogging. China leapfrogged older technologies, directly adopting newer ones. This was particularly true in areas like mobile technology. Having fallen behind technologically, they simply adopted the newest tech when the opportunity and resources permitted. Financial systems. State-owned enterprises. While often less efficient than private firms, these SOEs gave the Chinese government control over crucial sectors like energy, banking, and telecommunications. Challenges and future research. However, this rapid growth has also posed challenges, such as rising income inequality, environmental degradation, and issues related to political governance. Future research is needed to examine the sustainability of this growth model in light of current global dynamics. The concept of leapfrogging refers to the ability of countries or industries to bypass intermediary steps in technological development by directly adopting advanced technologies. This phenomenon has been particularly notable in China, especially in the realm of mobile technology. Here are the key mechanisms that facilitated this process. Favorable policy environment. Regulatory support. The Chinese government has been proactive in providing a conducive policy environment for the adoption of new technologies. For example, it designated specific zones for high-tech industries and eased regulations to stimulate innovation. Strategic investment in R&D. Public and private collaboration. China has made significant investments in research and development, often through public-private partnerships. This direct investment in technology and innovation has facilitated quicker adoption of advanced technologies. Market demand and scale. Large consumer base. China's large population and rising middle class created an enormous domestic market for advanced technologies. Companies were incentivized to adopt the latest technologies to cater to this consumer demand. Economies of scale. The sheer size of China's market allows companies to achieve economies of scale rapidly, reducing the average cost of production and enabling cheaper distribution of technology. Foreign direct investment, FDI, and technology transfer. Licensing and joint ventures. China attracted foreign capital through various means, including technology licensing and joint ventures, which contributed to the swift transfer of technology from developed countries. Education and skilled workforce.
Technical education.
Investment in education, particularly in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, supplied the necessary human capital capable of implementing and improving upon transferred technology.
Competition and entrepreneurial culture. Startup ecosystem.
The competitive market and a culture that increasingly values innovation and entrepreneurship have also contributed to rapid technological adoption. Companies that failed to adopt new technologies quickly found themselves at a competitive disadvantage.
Connectivity infrastructure. Broadband and mobile networks.
Extensive development of broadband and mobile networks provided the necessary infrastructure for the wide adoption of advanced technologies. In summary, China's leapfrogging was possible due to a unique blend of policy incentives, strategic investments, market demand, and a conducive entrepreneurial environment. This phenomenon was not an accident but the result of focused efforts by multiple stakeholders, including the government, private sector, and academic institutions. Accusations of intellectual property theft. Accusations of intellectual property, IP, theft against China have been a subject of international concern. Reports by governments and independent organizations suggest that Chinese entities have been involved in practices like forced technology transfer, cyber espionage, and patent infringement aimed at acquiring foreign technologies. Forced technology transfer. Some foreign companies have claimed that they were pressured to transfer technology to their Chinese partners as a condition for market access. Cyber espionage. Multiple reports indicate that Chinese hackers have targeted foreign corporations and governments to gain unauthorized access to sensitive technologies. Patent infringement. There are also instances of patent infringement where Chinese firms produce goods that closely mimic those protected by foreign patents. However, it's essential to note that not all technology acquisition by Chinese firms is illicit. Many Chinese companies have legitimately acquired or licensed technologies from abroad. Counterfeiting and industrial production. The issue of counterfeiting is another dimension of the intellectual property discourse in China. Counterfeit goods span various industries, including electronics, pharmaceuticals, and luxury items. The scale is challenging to accurately measure, but estimates suggest that counterfeiting could be a significant proportion of China's industrial output. Economic impact. While it's difficult to quantify precisely, some estimates suggest that counterfeiting accounts for up to 8% of China's annual gross industrial output. In 2019, U.S. Customs seized counterfeit goods worth $1.5 billion from Chinese shippers, including Hong Kong. This suggests a staggering amount shipped worldwide potentially. International impact. Counterfeit goods originating from China have found their way into global markets, posing challenges for international trade relations and global brands. Government measures. The Chinese government has taken steps to curb counterfeiting and improve international patent protections, though these efforts are often deemed insufficient by foreign critics. Why is China really keen to claim Taiwan as Chinese territory? What is it in Taiwan that the Chinese government really want? The issue of China's keen interest in Taiwan is rooted in historical, geopolitical, economic, and ideological factors. Here are some key factors to consider. Historical factors. One China policy. The Chinese government subscribes to the One China principle, which posits that Taiwan is an inseparable part of China. This perspective dates back to the Chinese Civil War, where the Communists and the Nationalists, Kuomintang, fought for control over China. The Nationalists retreated to Taiwan in exile but never formally declared independence. Both governments claimed to be the legitimate government of all of China. Historical connection. Taiwan has been a part of various Chinese dynasties. However, it has also had periods when it was self-ruled or under foreign rule, making its historical connection to China complex, and Chinese claims tenuous. Geopolitical factors. Strategic importance. Taiwan's strategic location in the Western Pacific, controlling key sea lanes, makes it geopolitically significant. Its proximity to the Chinese mainland also has defense implications. Global recognition. Very few countries officially recognize Taiwan as a separate state, largely due to pressure from Beijing. Bringing Taiwan under its control could be seen as a diplomatic victory for China, solidifying its status as a global power. Economic factors. High-tech industry. Taiwan is a global leader in semiconductor manufacturing, an industry vital for various high-tech sectors. Gaining control over these resources could be economically beneficial for China. Economic interdependence. Despite political tensions, Taiwan and China have deep economic linkages, including trade and investment. Formal control could further integrate these economies to China's advantage. Ideological factors. Nationalism. National unification is a powerful rallying cry that could bolster the legitimacy of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. Political system. The CCP upholds a socialist ideology with Chinese characteristics. Taiwan's democracy presents an alternative Chinese identity, which is viewed by some as a challenge to the CCP's ideological narrative. International implications. The Taiwan issue is fraught with international implications, as it involves not only cross-strait relations but also China's relationship with other powers, notably the United States, which has committed to Taiwan's defense under the Taiwan Relations Act. Taking control of Taiwan could hypothetically give China a significant advantage in the semiconductor and tech industry, thus potentially helping it navigate U.S. restrictions. Taiwan is home to Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, the world's largest dedicated independent, pure-play, semiconductor foundry. If China gained control of such assets, it could potentially offset some of the challenges posed by U.S. restrictions on semiconductor imports. However, there are multiple factors that complicate this scenario. First, taking control of Taiwan and its assets by force could disrupt operations and cause severe damage to the high-precision facilities necessary for semiconductor production. Second, there is a strong international presence in Taiwan's semiconductor industry, and an aggressive move like this could be met with international sanctions against China. Additionally, semiconductors require not only high-level manufacturing capabilities but also cutting-edge R&D. It's worth noting that intellectual capital, know-how, and trade secrets are closely guarded, and their acquisition would not be guaranteed even with physical control of production facilities. So, while on the surface, taking control of Taiwan could seem like a quick solution for China to weather the effects of U.S. restrictions on semiconductors and tech, the potential complications and international implications make it far less straightforward. We hope you found this video helped further your understanding of the Chinese economy, its relations with the global community, and how Taiwan figures to be critical in what happens in the near future. Thanks for watching.